Now, the outcome of this story is absolutely crazy, but I'm going to go ahead and tell it. Now, this story takes place in Memphis, Tennessee, where two law enforcement officers, Monique and Tony, they meet each other and they start dating. Now, just a year after they start dating, Tony would come up missing. He didn't show up to the family picnic, he didn't show up to pick up his son, and he didn't show up for work. Now, he loved his son, so that was a huge red flag. Officers start the investigation immediately. Now, they start off at Tony's home. So they go there. They really don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Nothing's knocked over, none of that. But they do notice that his car is missing out of his garage. So now they go talk to his girlfriend, Monique. Monique tells them the last time she seen him, which was earlier that day, they went to the casino. And after that, they split up and she went to the movies with her family. She did say that he got into a confrontation with some man and Tony ended up having to pull out a gun on him. Now, police also question like some of the colleagues down at the precinct, and they tell them that Tony was still married, and they're not sure if Monique knew about it. Now, they go and question the wife. The wife tells them she hasn't talked to him in a while, and she didn't know about Monique because she called Tony's phone one day, and Monique answered, and she was like kind of snapping. But the wife was in Vegas the night of his disappearance, so she's clear. Now they bring, they question Monique again. Now she finally tells, I guess, the real story. She tells him that one morning, Tony's in the shower. He gets a text message from some girl, and she sees it, and that upsets her. So she grabs the phone and she leaves the house, hops in her car to go home. Now on her way home, she is talking on the phone with this lady that texted him, and she's kind of not, I don't know about cussing her out, but she's asking her why she's texting her man's phone, this and that. She pulls up to her home and she looks in her rearview mirror and she can see Tony pulled up and he's walking toward her car. Now she says he gets to the car and he's very irate, he's very mad, he's upset, he's telling her to give the phone back, and she got scared. She said he lunged at her and she feared for her life, so she grabbed his gun and she shot him. Instead of calling the police, she called her 16-year-old son to help her put the body in the car and go ditch the car somewhere. So she takes the police to the car. Mind you, he's been sitting in his car for 4 hot days, so his body is badly decomposed. Now she's arrested for murder, but she still insists that it was self-defense. So they decide now to bring in her son, and they tell her son, that he's going to be charged with accessory after the fact. But if he cooperates, they'll work him out. They'll work it out and give him a deal. So he tells them where the gun is, and then he tells them that after the murder, um, him and his mom went out to dinner. Then they went to the movies with family. He also tells him that he was home when the shooting happened, and he was so scared he got up. He just wanted to make sure his mom was okay. But when he comes out, he sees Tony laying on his mom's room floor, dead. Now this is conflicting Monique's story, what she told them, and investigators decide to go ahead and go search her home. It's weird because there was no blood on the carpet, no bullet casings, none of that. So his story really ain't making sense either. But they did notice that the paint on her bathroom door was a little different. Like as if somebody put a new door on. Now Monique is changing her story. She says what happened was the argument did start in the garage, but she was able to run into the home and Tony followed her. She was able to run to her room. He got in her room with her and assaulted her. But she was able to get away from him at that point. But her only option was to run into the bathroom that is connected to her room. Now she really has nowhere to go. So she says she's scared, still afraid for her life. She grabs a gun on her closet shelf and she shoots him. Now he was shot 6 times, okay? 4 times in the back, 1 time in the chest, and 1 time in the head. Now the bullet wound to the head, the trajectory pointed downward, meaning he was already on the ground. All right. And that's when she said they asked her about the door, and she said she had her son help her go to one of like the model homes in the neighborhood, and she stole one of the doors out of there and put it in the door in her home. Now they go ahead and put her son in like some type of diversionary program, since he was very cooperative and told them what they wanted to know. And as for Monique, she got found guilty with reckless homicide. She was sentenced to 4 years with 2 years already served. No words. No words. Follow me for more true crime stories.